Hello, this is Jer, and I'm playing Oxygen Not Included, and welcome to my attempt to try to survive the Frosty Planet pack. Did anyone bring warm coats? It does not look like it. There is a warm coat up here, plus a wood heater. I'd like to actually prefer getting research so we can build our own, so that's what we're going to do. It hasn't taken long until we've gotten to the research portal. Lift goes down and has a look. And that gives us the ability to make a wood heater of our own. With this new technology, I instruct the dupes to make the wood heater over here next to a bunch of oxylite so they'll be able to get warm and breathe easily. Dupes have found a warm coat at the top of the base. We're going to give that to Rock. Our wood heater is just supplied with some wood. So now the dupes can get warm. Next decision point is to set up a barracks because I do not want anyone sleeping on the snow tonight. The barracks should be pretty easy. We just need 3 cots surrounding the wood heater and some doors. With a barracks ready to go, I instruct the dupes to set up a latrine so they have some place to relieve themselves other than peeing in the snow. We have a latrine that's been completed. Just about end of cycle 1. Any extra time, we'll set up a ladder. But now it is time for the dupes to find a cozy cot next to the wood heater. The next morning, everyone wakes up and tries out the outhouses. Goal for this cycle is to get a ladder system up and down. We've been getting this nice new ladder installed, and we found this room up here. And look at this, I can actually get through without having to worry about granite. Rock has gotten through with a simple tile here. I believe we can poke into this room. Let's just give one of these guys the instruction. Hey, look at this. We've got an ability to do an upgrade. Maybe we'll do that right away. And some lockers. Starting with Rock. Let's see what kind of skill you can get. Rock takes the beefsteak trait plus 10 to strength. Next, we're going to do some inspecting or rummaging up in the zone. Rock, can you go see what is in these lockers? Oh, wouldn't it be nice? Oh, that looks like the end of cycle 2. We will start there on cycle 3 then. Top of cycle 3, Lift goes in and checks the lockers. I'm really hoping for 1 or even 2 warm coats. That would be really nice. Maybe Lift, you'll get a warm coat here if you just hang around. Yeah, there we go. 1 warm coat for Lift. So that just leaves Hammer without a warm coat. Well, maybe you can at least give them something, a snazzy suit, even though it's not going to help keep them warm. We are going to set up another cot because it is just going to be less than half a cycle to the next dupe arrives. With another cot available, it's time to work on the power production system. Rock charges the battery for the first time. Now that we get some power in this battery, it's time to make a laboratory, because one thing I am certain about this game is, cold world or not, we need some good research in order to be able to survive. And this is perfect too, because the next dupe is going to be a specialist in the sciences. We've got our next dupe, Baker, just in time, because the laboratory is being set up. And first thing I'm going to research is the ability to get a supercomputer. Beaker starts using the research station, and while that's going on, we're going to start looking for some buried objects. Research has been complete, so we can get a supercomputer and do some more advanced research. I'm hopefully not going to regret this, but instead of researching air systems for life-sustaining ability, I'm going to research a fire pole for base optimizations. I think we're going to be okay, because there is still a good amount of oxylite to produce some oxygen. In order to get any water in the supercomputer as well as the wash basins, we are getting an ice liquefier. Rock's getting the ability to dig through granite. We've got the ability to make fire poles. So no more risking it. We're going to start researching air systems and finding a way to produce our own oxygen. Though all the digging around has led to almost 40,000 calories of food, so we won't have to worry about that in the next short little while, though it is going to be an issue coming up. We're going to get another dupe soon, so we better set up our second barracks with a wood heater sitting in the center. Next barracks is ready, which is perfect because Wrangle is here. This is going to be a dupe that is going to do critter ranching. So this is the moment where things change and I have to set a strategy that's specific to this very cold world. And I want to get electrolyzer running, so we're researching insulated pipes. But how am I going to get that in there, given the fact that everything is just going to cause water to freeze? Well, I'm starting off with some airflow tiles. Water sitting on that is going to freeze slower. It's not going to prevent it completely, but that will be the first step anyways to getting survival on this very cold asteroid happening. With this pumping station built, it's time to make an insulated pipe all the way to feed this electrolyzer to produce our own oxygen. Our pipe is ready. Wrangle's putting in a little bit of water. As long as most of the water stays inside the insulated pipes, we're going to be okay, but any excess down here is going to be at risk of freezing. But that's why we've got this set up so I don't have to worry about any excess. The only thing is, to finish this whole setup, I need a little bit of metal, so we got a rock crusher. And this quartz carved, and we're going to throw it next to this machinery so that the dupes that use it can be able to see. Got another dupe. This is Pebble. I suspect that there's going to be lots of digging that's needed. So another dupe with interest in digging would be a good thing, I'm thinking. Pebble's having a little fun with the rock crusher. This water storage is built. We just have to wait for this to become a vacuum and I'll be able to store water here without worrying about it freezing, which is really nice. I also have automation to be able to control when it needs water. Load it into this guy, which is very, very nice. Research is going on for a hydrogen generator. You can see we're having a little bit of power issues that would help quite a bit. We're going to go build a pump up here to take advantage of the hydrogen that's going to start to accumulate. This is a very exciting moment with a vacuum crate in here. We're going to direct this water to go down and out like this. So it's going to go visit this guy first for storage. Set that at 50-50 to actually indicate whether this needs to be accessed or not. That is nice. Our hydrogen pump is ready, but we don't have enough hydrogen yet. So we're going to take a little bit of a break from the life-sustaining equipment and power production to make something the dupes can enjoy, a Great Hall, complete with a floating water cooler. Because who wouldn't want one of those? Great Hall did not take a lot of effort to make, but that did make me think, what are we going to be putting on the table? So down here just below the Great Hall, we're going to do some farming, have a cooking station, and a storage area for food. Next dupe to join is Spark, who's going to concentrate on some of the engineering skills. Looks like this area is all set up. We're going to start to grow some pike apple bush. With pike apple growing, I'm now getting 2 new electrolyzers built. so that we can ensure that we can produce all the oxygen that these and future dupes need. Electrolyzers are running. And then I also put in a hydrogen sensor here to get this pump to take in hydrogen. And I've got this little area here I'm trying to sneak up without being followed by hydrogen, so we can explore this area in oxygen. We poked up a little bit. I don't see any hydrogen, which is nice. My goal here is to get access to this ethanol. With nearly having access to the ethanol, I set up a plan for the dupes to create a pump with a pipe and a wire going down to here for future farming. Notice food's getting a little low. We're going to make a priority of having the next dupe that can cook, but we also need to expand the growing area for this pike apple. 8th dupe, Fry, has arrived, who's getting the skills of using the grill. We've got an ethanol pump. Now I'll direct the dupe's attention down here so we can get our first stable created of 96 tiles wide. Having another quartz transported to the kitchen, and I see Fry is taking advantage of the grill. They are making pike apple skewer. Wrangle's just getting the essential ability to, well, wrangle critters and work in the stable. And I'm going to select this mammoth to be moved up to the stable. I think we just need one more tile to complete that. And after this, we are going to start constructing this power plant. Just taking a moment to check on the health of my pipes. Yep, it looks like nothing is in risk of melting. After the power plant has been built, adding in a transformer to feed the rest of the circuit around the base, and adding more spot here for tables for dupes to eat. And we've got to get another barracks together because I want to have at least twice the amount of dupes that we have right now as soon as we can. I don't know why, but this is always one of my favorite moments when we get to separate circuitry. I'm going to disconnect this from the rest of the base, and then simply connect this guy, and then we've got two circuits. Heavy wire and our regular circuit going after the transformer. We can take this out so that we can bring the heavy wire inside the rock crusher. Niels joins the team who's going to help out with construction here. So we've got some hydrogen going into this generator that's controlled by this smart battery. Now I'm concerned about food for this guy here. So I am setting up an area for some plume squash. It's going to stay nice and cold over time. And we'll start sending some ethanol into that farm. As the dupes are putting this farm together, I realize that I don't actually have any plume squash seed. So we're going to have to go look for some buried objects, starting with this zone down here. While opening up this area for future plume squash, I discovered more plume squash in this zone, so we're going to go up here and look for some buried objects. We'll also probably come across some bandless too, which would be awesome. To make that exploration a little bit easier, putting another electrolyzer just to push lots of oxygen up through this area. Rock is on the case. We definitely found a mammoth, or 2, 3, maybe even more by the time we get out here. Yep. Awesome. Now that I've got some plume squash growing for the mammoth that's in the stable, I'm creating another stable, this one with just a shearing station, so that we can get lots of reed fiber from all of these guys that we just recently discovered. And if I can get lots of reed fiber, we will make some warm coats for everyone. And we have Leaf. It's going to help out in ranching and in the farming. With this new stable dedicated to shearing and instructing the dupes to transport some of these mammoths in to get a bunch of reed fiber. After the mammoths start arriving, it is time to address the excess hydrogen and carbon dioxide. Simple gas storage should do the trick up here, plus one down here to take the carbon dioxide and get that out of the way, so we can explore. We now have a carbon dioxide pump, taking out this excess carbon dioxide that's building up. Maybe we should just clear this up. Open that path. Same thing up here for hydrogen. Stored over here. So now it is time to go do a very interesting project and build a washroom. But before we build the washroom, we want to get a place to process sewage, and I want that insulated. I also want to have a boiler room. I'm going to have that just below this and essentially just upgrade this storage, which makes sure water doesn't get cold, but this system's actually going to increase the temperature if needed. Next juke to join the team is Mop, who is looking forward to getting some plumbing going in time. With some reed fiber, Nail starts making some warm coats. So with this area cleared out and a little bit of insulated tiles, it's time to design the inside of both boiler system down here and the polluted water treatment plant. Next dupe we have is Craft, who's going to help out with construction and supply around here. Just a few more pipes until we can get this system started. Boiler system ready, a vacuum is starting to be formed. Plus the liquid temporizer inside there is going to use a lot of power, so we're bringing the heavy watt wire in instead of the regular line for that. And I think it is time to decommission this room. We're going to take the water that's been stored in here and actually dump it on the ground inside the boiler so that this guy can make sure it stays warm. We'll start maybe 30 or so degrees. So we've got our 13th dupe. We are going to need another barracks. So we're starting a spot for the 4th barracks. That'll support up to 16 dupes. We want to get a polluted water treatment plant. We need a little bit of chlorine. Our 13th dupe is Art, who's eventually going to do some decorating around here. I also see that a bottle of chlorine has been dropped off here, so we're going to empty that. And then seal this area up. As the bottle of chlorine is opening, we want to immediately act to seal this area up. It doesn't take too long to convert to chlorine gas, so we want to actually take that all out, filter it, and then push in just the chlorine. We've got a vacuum in this area, and we're starting to get the piping in for the washroom. But now that we've got this, let me just disconnect this guy, take the power off as well. And then we'll push in the chlorine. So we've been saving some chlorine in this little pipe. We do this, that's going to send it out. And then we've got some chlorine to take care of germs that go into water in either liquid reservoir. While looking for some igneous rock, we found a number of lockers. Curious if we've got any warm coats. There's at least one. Hey, there's two. There's 3. Okay, I'll take that. It'll save us a little bit of reed fiber. Starting the process of putting water in the boiler. So it's going to go into here first rather than the base, so we can disconnect this. And then connect this for now. And we've got that going through radiant pipe to make sure that water gets nice and warm before it ultimately goes out towards the base. With all the plumbing done, it's time to rip out the outhouses and upgrade to a washroom. Next dupe to join is Hart, who is good at medicine in case anyone gets sick. Checking in on the plumbing now that the washroom is online. Seems to be set up good. Polluted water's held here until the germs are all killed. Connecting this pump into the heavy wire system. Before I do that, I should probably disconnect this and that, this and that. There we are. Just make sure that we've got a little connection at the end. With the functioning washroom, I direct the attention of the dupes up here to get in an incubator room so we can process some of the eggs that this critter here has been laying. Giving the incubator room a test so we can attend to some eggs. After that, next project is to upgrade to some tiling. On top of the polluted water treatment facility, I'm installing a drop-off area for polluted water. The new polluted water drop-off is ready. Wrangle dumping some polluted water in there. The tiling is looking really nice, more efficient, but probably most importantly, it's something that's not going to melt. So now I decide I want to reward the dupes for all their hard work setting up this base. So we start the process of getting a nature reserve for the dupes to be able to enjoy. 15th dupe here, Rocket, who is interested in going in space. Nature reserve that I designed is off by just a few tiles. 123 needs to be at least, or a minimum of 120, maximum. A few doors that way should do the trick. So these little doors have led to a nature reserve that goes up and down. Should be visited by the dupes quite regularly. Next little project is to get this transformer set up over here. So this is the second transformer going into this line, but let's make sure we cut it somewheres. How about to right? We got there. Yeah, we'll do it right here. So now we've got 2 regular circuits and a heavy wire line. Next project here is to raise this gas pump much higher up so we can do some exploring this direction. At the same time, we are starting to get a ladder to go further down to explore the bottom of this asteroid as well. This is our 16th dupe, and I think we're going to stop here with a number of dupes. Dash, very quick on their feet. As we come across Mercury, a little bit concerned about it melting towards the base, so just having it stored away over here. Our new hydrogen pump is operational. So in time, that's going to remove all this hydrogen, get that out of the way, and then we'll be able to explore with oxygen in these directions. Now it is time to do the big ice cleanup. There's lots of ice around the base, and eventually that's going to create lots of puddles once things warm up, so we don't want that to happen. Let's get rid of that ice, and that's all going to go down here for now. Most of the ice has been removed from the floors, just a few pieces over here. So now I am installing another electrolyzer up here, just to really get oxygen pushed in this area. That's going to help push hydrogen up and make it a little bit easier to explore around this area with more oxygen in the future. This new electrolyzer is now running. Let's just check the water to make sure it is fine temperature-wise. Yeah, the boiler room is doing its thing. Next project is to get a little bit further down, and we're going to get a carbon dioxide pump here. Take out a little bit of carbon dioxide before we go any further than this. Carbon dioxide pump is online. So now I am adding a second stable just on top of this one, with the aim of getting 3 of these BEMs, and this one as well as, well, I guess a 6 in total. Just make sure this is the one that I actually intended to have in there. I did not. Let's put him up here. With this stable online, I'm going to direct my attention back down towards the bottom of the base. So we've got the carbon dioxide pump, but now I am putting in electrolyzers along this path to fill this with oxygen, which will push the carbon dioxide even further down. While I wait for oxygen to start to fill up in this area, I'm curious about where the geysers are. So I'm going to open up my first geyser and see what this is. As we start to fill the stable up with BAMS, a little concerned about food for them, so we're expanding our farm of plume squash. Rock is curious. What is behind this rock here? Got a little obsidian. This might be the first time they're digging through obsidian. Ooh, gold volcano, huh? Well, I think primarily for survival purposes, I would love to find a water-based geyser. So, though that one might be interesting, I want to make sure we go out and explore. I'll maybe take mallow seed. Geysers for their water production, because, I mean, we have lots of ice, but I would like to not need the ice liquefier if at all possible. So, let's look to see what's in this geyser rock. Pebble jumps in, needs to take a little bit of a breath. Ooh, maybe this will be something interesting. You can do it, Pebble, come on. Rock tags in here. Oh, I get excited there for a half a second, but it's carbon dioxide geyser. Well, not what we're hoping for. We'll keep looking. We are starting to have some problems with temperature. We're going to be switching over to barbecue meat in time, but we're not quite ready. So as I push those plants back, I'll start to pull them this way. See a geyser up here. But I don't want to go and explore and bring hydrogen with me, so trying to get into this area, past this Jarvis shipping container, and hopefully go up this zone with a little bit of oxygen so we can breathe as we go. So there's actually 2 guys. Oh no, sorry, excuse me. 3 geysers in this area. I'll get a path to each, and we'll see what these 3 are. So as we make progress towards these geysers, I also have a plan to go over this direction to see if there's anything interesting over here. Over in this far corner, it looks to me what I believe is a hydrogen geyser. Because we are exploring a lot around here, I decided to add a second electrolyzer. insulated pipe, of course. I found a hot fluted oxygen vent. Normally I don't get excited about these, I typically just ignore them, but on a very cold world, maybe this actually could be pretty decent. Bringing in some deodorizers, because I'm expecting that would be a good idea. Soon find out what's in this geyser. At the same time, curious about this little red piece sticking out. I've never seen anything like that. And we might as well go into this little area at the same time. While exploring this direction, I think we may have found the teleportation equipment. Exploring is really cold up here, so I'm going to put a wood heater in case anyone needs to be warmed up. Oh-ho! There we go. A water-based geyser. In this case, just pure water. Still need to wait to see what the other two are, but this is good news for our long-term survival. That would explain the little red piece. I have not found enough this plume squash seed as I was expecting, so we're going around here looking for some buried objects, trying to keep the wild ones alive. Any of the wild ones that are not, though, might as well dig, though. It's probably a little concerning as to why. Minus 50. Oh! Okay. Yeah, that could be dangerous for dupes, actually. But, we'll do what we can to get a few seeds. So over in this zone, we have our second gold volcano. We've got a hydrogen vent. And I've got a water geyser sitting right here. But I think I want to have some infrastructure around this guy. But before we do that, let's get some gas mask. Either some gas masks or push oxygen in the zone, one or the other. All this extreme cold has me thinking of exosuits. So let's make an exosuit forge so that the dupes can go out and breathe, but also be protected from the extreme cold. Oh, you guys made that out of the wrong material. Well, let's try that again, but maybe not mercury. If we don't have enough metal, let's wait for iron. So we do not want to make stuff out of mercury right here anyway. Oh, what a mess. Starting to cut through this little area here. Some lockers. Once they've been emptied out, we'll take them out so we can continue going down. Adding in another electrolyzer to make it a little bit easier to explore. Preferring to go down in this zone because temperatures are not so bad. I'll start exploring the upper region once we have some Atmos suits for the dupes to be able to wear. After putting in a storage area for bleachstone and sporchid seeds, just in case we have pips in the future, we start digging down a little bit further and find more mammoths down here, which is cool. The more I go down this way, the more potential I see, so another electrolyzer goes in here. Next step is installing a carbon monoxide pump, but while here, I found some plume squash seed, which is really good news. We've got a carbon monoxide pump here. That's going to lower the carbon monoxide over time. Now I am building a oxygen filtration process over here so we can get some Atmos suits. In fact, I even have a checkpoint set up and ready to go right here. Just need some oxygen and, well, you might as well put the suits in. After we've got 2 new electrolyzers and pumps, time to put in the actual oxygen filtration part of this whole setup. And once that's set up and running, we'll start pushing oxygen into those Atmos suits. We've got our oxygen filtration process running. And with that, let's take this pipe and go all the way up to these guys so we can start providing some oxygen. I guess these are going to also need some power. So we'll plug them in as well. While we're waiting for oxygen to go into our new Atmos suits, putting in new electrolyzer down in this zone, which is going to help push the carbon dioxide back down, make this area breathable. Oops, don't forget to pick up the chlorine, throw it in over here. With these guys filled up, let's start the process of clearing this out so we can take advantage of this water geyser. Yet another electrolyzer. And about to appear in this area where we've got some peps. Notice another plant that is too warm. Also decided might as well put in an auto sweeper in this area. Beaker's doing some analysis of this geyser, while I'll get the other dupes to start some installation. Fluorine a little further down. This analysis on this geyser shows this is going to be active in under 4 cycles. So we're going to get busy with insulating this if we want it to be insulated before this goes off. Less than 2 cycles until this thing goes off. Just had the idea of actually going out to dig some igneous rock so that the dupes don't have to carry material to this spot as from this far away. We'll see if that helps. It is not funny how you got your head stuck, especially given the fact that we're expecting this to go off in 1.2 cycles. And we've sealed this up. Just 0.2 cycles to go. And the first water is splashed down. I can see that it is mixing with mercury. Made it down to the geothermal heat pump. My plan originally was to put a carbon skimmer here, but I see that we have a break here in the basalite. And that's going to make difficult construction around this zone unless we have some Atmos suits. So I think we're gonna have to back off until we've got more metal. Looks like this gold volcano is about to go off. I hope this isn't gonna cause too much heat, but it would be nice to get some gold. Got an interest in going to the oil biome, so we're getting some Atmos suit docks put in here. Also want to add in a little bit of insulation along this pathway and storage area over here for water that's going to eventually leak down. And we'll sneak down this way. Either this way or this way. We'll see when I get to that point. But in the meantime, I've got this long line that's connecting up to our oxygen supply. We've got our Atmos suits in place. Next step is to get a carbon dioxide pump down here, so that we can get down to this spot with while being able to breathe. Next upgrade is a new kitchen area where we're going to be making pemmican. Don't seem to be getting enough water into our system, so adding a second bottle emptier. Now that we've got 2 bottle emptiers, things are looking a little bit healthier. I also have notification if water goes out in the pipe again. So now we can direct our attention to the bottom of the base, use these new Atmos suits, and start to go into the oil biome. First task I have in here is insulate this little area. It's time to automate the stables. Doing a little rearranging down here, plus putting in some conveyor loaders so we can automatically dump eggs rather than have to get the dupes to do this. While we're waiting for Spark to install the last automation, we're adding in a egg counting room here, just to manage the eggs so that I or the dupes won't have to do that. Egg processing facility is set up. Now I'm focusing on getting back over here. I never actually finished insulation up in this area. I'm a little concerned water's going to eventually get up there. So we'll do that now. We'll also see, is it possible just to mop that up? No, fortunately. It means when we're going to take water out, we'll have to filter for mercury. That's alright. Now that I've got this insulated, I'm going to see if I can actually get rid of the mercury without filtering. Managed to separate the mercury. So let's just drop that and then reseal this back up. So with this water looking pure, I'm going down here and setting up a spigot seal stable. This is actually the first time doing this, so we'll see how this goes. Putting in a spot here for 5 trees to grow. See if that's going to feed a number of these spigot seals. Plus storage of snow. So we've got some bonbon trees growing. Just waiting to have them actually full size before we put any seals in there. Now we're digging out this little area, and I'm thinking about materials study terminal. Actually going to use, I don't know if I'll use the uranium ore or maybe some of these guys. We'll see here in a little bit. Oh, mop up, need it. With some uranium ore in hand, setting up a transformer here, and that's going to feed the material study terminal, and we'll have our second laboratory made in this zone. Material study terminal is online. Red bolts being generated. And now I'm focusing on ethanol because I just had a look up here and whoa, we are a little bit low. Just one thing we could quickly do is just dump the tiny bit of ethanol that's here down. But definitely want to get this area up and running. I don't know that we'll have this up and running by the time this runs out or not. So what I'm doing now is searching for a little bit more ethanol. Found some right here. We'll create a pump with some power and a pipe up. And that's going to supply some ethanol to our plume squash farm, which is ultimately consumed by these guys, which is turned into meat, with tallow turned into pemmican for the dupes. Oh, not from there, in this room. So ethanol's flowing from this zone. Next task is to get down here. I was going to try pumping some of this out, but it's really hot. But thankfully, we have a very cold core, so I'm just going to knock this crude oil down here and cool it down, and we'll pump it up to create ultimately some plastic. We're now getting to an industrial age. We've got a metal refinery and an oil refinery. Oil refinery has insulated pipes that's going to take crude oil up from way down here. The metal refinery is also going to take this crude oil, and it has a line to actually dump that crude oil back down. So we're going to take all the coolness from the bottom of this asteroid and use that as metal refinery coolant. So my plan to use crude oil that's cooled off down here didn't go so well. It turned too solid. It is way colder in here than I was thinking. I should have looked at that aspect. I'll see if I can find an alternate solution. See, these guys are chopping these up. I assume, though, I don't want to do that if I actually want to feed our little critters in the future. So I'm going to actually change this out to go like that. Before going to more industrial stuff, I decided, you know what, let's go and get this ethanol area. Just in case we start running out, I want to have this already online to be able to feed our farm. Well, there you have it. Me surviving 100 cycles on the Frosty Planet pack. From this point, I'm going to make a short little video on how to keep water from breaking the pipes, because I see a number of people were asking about that, and trying out this boiler system. I'm quite happy with it. After that, I'm thinking of going live and surviving on the Frosty Planet pack, maybe a slightly different seed. But look for that in the coming days around this Halloween season. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time. This is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included.